got a good surprise for all y'all engine guys out there, so stay tuned. What's going on YouTube guys and gals? I know a lot of gals that like engine building, but figured I'd do a video on my engine I put together. Let's see, I've been working on this truck. I bought it in like 2017. Did a little bit on it. It sit out here in the yard for a while. I finally got back started on it last year, end of last year. Did a lot of work to it. I didn't have a way to record all of it. I would have liked to, but I did get pictures of different stuff along the way. So I'll probably do a video later, like chronological order that I did to it, and then of course when I get mostly done with the truck and get it pretty much finished, I'll do a video of the completed work. But for today, I just figured I'd do a video on this engine I built. I built it back in the spring. I was kind of in a hurry at the time. I wanted to get it together, but then my transmission was in the shop for a while. A guy had some other transmissions come in that needed to be done, and I told him I wasn't in no big hurry then, so it took me a while in the shop. You stand in here 5 minutes, you get to sweating, so I was waiting for this weather to get all cool down. So now I'm about ready to put this thing in, get my dad out here and help me. So anyway, I'll get started on this engine. Like I said, I wanted to do a video of putting it all together, but I was kind of in a hurry. And plus, you can go on YouTube and find, there's no telling how many videos of how to build a 350 engine. So anyway, this is a Chevy 350. It came out of a 84 K10 square body, whatever you want to call it. I broke down the original engine and it was pretty much gone, so it's sitting over there somewhere. So I ended up getting another block. I hunted around some local guys that had shops and asked around if they had any old blocks I could get machined. You can get them pretty cheap, take them to the machine shop and get machine work done. But nobody had any. One guy had one he just sold, so I was out of luck. Anyway, so I said, screw it, I'll just buy a new block. So I went to Chevrolet Performance and bought just the bare block. Originally, like if I was going to get that one other one machined, I was going to do either maybe 383 stroker, but I ended up doing, just 350. So I figured I'd get a block, and as long as nothing cracks on it, eventually I can have it remachined. When it needs the new build job later on, I can get it machined and do a 383 or whatever. But so the block, like I said, came from Chevrolet Performance, just your standard 4-inch bore, 350 block. I painted it. Like I said, I'll throw some pictures in later on the way. I got pictures of each step along the build, along with the truck part itself out there. But I started with the block, cleaned it up good, painted it. I don't know if I got a can over here of what I used. Anyway, I used Eastwood ceramic engine primer on it first, and then I went back and put the ceramic engine paint on it. I think I did like 3 coats on it. With the black, it's gloss black. Turned out really good. So then the only complaints about this block, really, everything fit up good except where your dowel pin holes are for your heads. One of them went in, or a couple of them went in fine. So like on one side, 2 of them went in fine, the other one in fine. But on the other 4, there's like 2 on each side that either drilled all the way through and didn't have the stop, or it was just a really tight fit. So anyway, I ended up using, and I couldn't get the pin in there. Anyway, I ended up just having 2 dowel pins on each side, which that's really all you need anyway, just to help locate your heads. So, and then right here on the front, I think I took a picture of it too, but under the timing chain cover, there's a, like your oil galley plugs go. The block itself is kind of squared, so I got a double roller timing chain on here, so it kind of hit. So I had to take a grinder with like a sanding wheel and smooth it down a little bit so the timing chain and all that didn't hit it. But I got that cleaned up. I covered it all, taped everything up good, grinded that down, cleaned it up good anyway. So it was good to go. So I used a comp cams timing chain set, double roller timing chain under here. That It's just, you can't see it from here, but it's got the Chevy logo on the front. It's chrome timing cover. It's from, I think, Proform. Is the brand of that. These heads, now I took just a chance on these heads. Most people, you say, oh, what kind of heads should I use? I didn't want to use the old 76cc, smog heads or whatever. And I kind of wanted to go aluminum so it'd be lighter than just a regular Vortec head. So Flowtech, I decided to go with the Flowtech. I did a little research. Everybody on the internet's like, well, don't. If you're going to use heads, get the good stuff. If you're going to spend any money, spend it on the heads. AFR and all that, that's just, I didn't want to spend that much money. They got some other brands that are good too, I would have went with, but I seen an article where some guys, I can't remember if it was like Power Nation or who it was, they did a test on some budget, or actually several different heads. They had some AFRs too. They started with just standard cast iron Vortec heads and dynoed it. Same cam and everything. Like, used the same engine. All they did was swap the heads out. So they did Vortec heads, and then they went with these Flowtechs, aluminum heads. And then they went with a few other ones and some AFR, or, just high-end brand ones. Anyway, and for the money, I was like, well, shoot, I'll give them a shot. They did pretty good. They made more power than the Vortec heads on the dyno, with all the rest of the same, and was really close to the high-end ones too. I was like, well, shoot, for the money, I'll stick with that. So I bought these 180cc runners, 202 intake, 1.6 exhaust, but they were 300 a piece bare, or I think they were like 400 assembled. But I bought the bare heads and the springs and everything that went with my cam and seal and all. And so I took it to my local machine shop guy. He put it together, checked all the clearances, made sure everything was right. He actually machined, also they're brand new, but he went ahead and he said some of these aluminum heads, go ahead and machine the surface to make sure they're good and flat. So he went ahead and took a little bit off of that, made sure it was good and flat, and assembled everything for me, got it all put together. So basically I got $800 total in heads. I mean, you can't beat that if you get some good heads. So I figured I'd take a shot on them. There really wasn't much on the internet about them, but I saw a couple of people that had them before. They said they're pretty good, so I figured, hey, I'll give it a shot. I'll be the guinea pig, I guess. But I think they'll do great. They look to be really good quality. I mean, if you look at everything and check it out, everything seems to be pretty good. On the inside, combustion chambers look good. I mean, they look fine. So see, so that's the block heads. I went over the time. Water pump, it's aluminum water pump. I believe it's high flow, which I could have went with a regular, standard flow, but it was a Summit brand. Sometimes I don't use Summit brand stuff, or like store brand stuff, but I figured it had some pretty good reviews, so I went with that. Edelbrock, they had one. It probably would have been a little better, but it was more expensive, so I just went. Some stuff I spent the extra money, some stuff I just went the cheaper route, but this is Summit brand. I figured I'd try that. The valves that I put in the heads were stainless valves. Like I said, I had the guy at the machine shop seat them and everything, and get everything assembled, and the springs and all are right for what Comp said for the lift of my cam. Valve covers, these are, I believe, are Proform also. I started to get some regular, just like chrome or just other metal, black, thin metal ones. But then I saw these are aluminum with the black crinkle type paint, whatever, like powder coated or whatever. And these bad boys, I seen them, I said, man, I gotta spend the extra money. They were pretty expensive compared to your normal cheap valve covers, but I figured I'd spend the extra money on those. They look really good, and I bought the breather caps on each side to go with it. Intake is just a Edelbrock aluminum intake. It's the 2101 Performer. It's just Edelbrock aluminum Performer, and it's set up for a quadrajet. I ordered, it's not on here obviously, I'm gonna put it on there later, but I got a quadrajet. I thought about going to Jet Performance and buying one that was built, but I just went, that Summit builds a quadrajet too, up for, they have 3 levels. They have like your your level 1, 2, and 3. Level 1 was basically stock. Level 2 was for your mild build, and level 3 was for hopped up. I bought the level 2 version, and it's in the box over there, which I'll eventually get out and I'll do a video on all when I get everything put in the truck. But let's see. So I don't have it right now, but it's set up for a quadrojet, spreadboard, whatever, dual plane. Actually, what this is, but just a chrome thermostat housing. I thought that looked pretty good. Let's see. All right, distributor. I'll get into the internals here in a minute, but right now, it's distributor is a MSD Street Fire distributor. It's got the vacuum and mechanical. You know, you can do mechanical, advanced, and vacuum. The spark plug wires are also MSD. Actually, I got the box right here. Let's see. MSD superconductor 8.5. Part number on that if you're interested in those. And I don't know, I just looked through and I knew about what I wanted, but I wanted the red, and I looked through to see what the reviews and all were on it. So that's what I got. This seemed to be the best fit for what I was going to go for. Let's see. That's pretty much everything on the outside. I'll get into the internals. I just used all the original motor mounts, painted them with the same ceramic paint as I did with the block. Oil pan, I forgot to mention. Oil pan, it's just the Chrome Summit brand oil pan, like stock placement. Works pretty good. This is a Carter, I believe, fuel pump for this engine. I got the 30. I did some calculations. This engine is probably 350 horsepower. I did some calculations on the fuel pump, and I think it's 30 gallons per hour, something like that, and it's standard pressure for carburetor. That's what I think. If you 350 horsepower engine, I forgot what calculations it was. I can look that up later, but it told me how many I needed GPH for this engine. But it's a Carter brand, if I'm not mistaken. I had the old balancer, but my buddy of mine had one for another engine he was going to build. He ended up not building it, and it's exact stock replacement, so I used the 8-inch balancer. These spark plug looms or whatever, these are just cheap, whatever chrome ones. I think Spectra brand. You can get them off of, I got them off, I don't know if eBay or Amazon or something. I didn't want to spend much money on those. Just your regular parts store. Oil filter. For the crank, I was going to reuse my old crank, but it was messed up, so I went with a scat crank, and I got scat rods. I sent them to the machine shop. Actually, I got the paperwork here. I dug it out from when I sent it back in the springtime. You know, they balanced everything for me, got it ready to go. I could have bought a rotating assembly, but I didn't. I just went with and got it balanced. Which I come out with about the same price, I guess, as what a scat rotating assembly would have been. Pistons, I went with Speed Pro hyper-eutectic pistons in here. I think 7 cc valve reliefs, flat tops, to give me some pretty decent compression. I'm guessing compression it's just like I said, standard 350 rods and flat top pistons. I'm pretty sure I measured deck height and all that and did some calculations and everything. I think my compression is only going to be about 9 1/4 to 1. I wanted to get up a little higher, so I didn't want to get too high because I'm running just pump fuel. But pretty sure it's around 9 1/4 to 1 on the compression ratio. See the other internals. This is a 2-piece. I was between getting a 1-piece main seal block and a 2-piece, but I went with what came in the truck, so I went with a 2-piece rear main seal block. The seal itself, a lot of people use your standard silicone. I went with I think it's Vidon is the material. The rubber is supposed to be more heat and abrasion resistant, so I went with that for the rear piece. The rear main seal. I can't remember all the parts and stuff I put on here, like the brands of what. I know I went with Comp Cam. Oh, the cam, yeah, that's one of the most important things everybody wants to know about. The cam is Comp Cam Extreme Energy 262H, I believe is the part number. Let's see, I had my camcorder on here. I know it's valve lift with standard rockers. I used the Cam aluminum roller rockers in here. So just standard ratio rockers. It's got 462 lift on the intake and 470 on the exhaust. It's a dual pattern cam. Hydraulic flat tappet. I wanted to go with the roller cam, but and I just didn't want to fork up the extra money. I know they last a long time. I mean, shoot, you get probably 300,000 miles maybe. I don't know. The way I'll drive it, probably not, but I'll get a pretty good bit out of hydraulic rollers, but I didn't want to spend the extra money. I mean, it should last me, last me a long time with even a hydraulic flat tappet cam. I used the comp cam lifters, I believe it's the high energy series lifters that was recommended to go. I bought the kit. It was the cam and the lifters. So the extreme energy cam, it had the high energy lifters with it. It's the same recommended for this. And I brought obviously the spring set and all that goes with it. Lobe separation is 110 degrees on here. Intake center line on 106. Duration is 262. Advertised 262. Intake 270. Exhaust. Duration at 50 thousandths lift is 218 intake and 224 exhaust. Lift, 462 and 470. I wanted to stay under 500. That way I wouldn't have to worry about any kind of, valve clearances. And it's a mild street engine, and it's going in it's not a C10. I don't like to have a C10, but it's a K10. So it's a 4-wheel drive truck. I got a 700 R4 transmission sitting in the floor over here, and transfer case is going to go in it. So that, I didn't want to go super wild, and it's a mild engine. So I stayed under 500 on my lift. I figured that would be in a good truck, cam in the extreme energy category. My rod bearings, I'm trying to remember which brand bearings I used. Is just standard bearings, and they all had the exact same clearance. Every main bearing, I checked all my clearances with my crank, had exactly the same clearance, so those are good. Plus the block was machine good, and then the bearings obviously were machine good from the factory. Let's see, I can't remember what bearings those were. Anyway, so yeah, all my fasteners, ARP, like I said, head bolts, ARP main bolts. This is a 4-bolt main block. I didn't mention that when I was talking about the block. It's a 4-bolt main block, and I use ARP main bolts and ARP head bolts and ARP rod bolts, because I think they came, when I bought the scat rods, they came with ARP bolts in them. I wanted the cap screws, ended up with the through bolts, kind of like what comes on stock, because I accidentally ordered the wrong ones. But hey, as much power, 350 horses, like 400-ish torque, the through bolt should work just fine. This old stand, man, my dad built this way back in the day. It was sitting out here under the shed. It was all kind of rusty, so I cleaned it up good, wire wheeled it, spray painted it. Turned out pretty good, because this ain't been used. He used to build engines back in the day, so it ain't been used since then. But man, I think that's pretty much it for a basic rundown of this engine. These are the fasteners up here. I forgot, I got a stainless bolt kit for the fasteners on the intake, and then valve covers and some other stuff. And then I had a plug kit, obviously, just for the plugs, oil galley plugs and freeze plugs, or core plugs, as some people call them. Like die-hard machine shop guys call them core plugs. They don't like when you call them freeze plugs or whatever. So just your basic stuff on that. I'm really excited to see how these heads turn out, though. These Flowtech 180cc heads, man. I really want to check them out. All my gaskets, I'm pretty sure I use Fel-Pro gaskets on most everything. All my parts, like if anybody's got any questions on this, just drop a comment down there. I'll answer all the comments with any questions, like if you're wondering what parts, part numbers. Most of the stuff you can go on most everything I either got at a local auto parts store over here or on Summit. So usually you can just type in on Summit, narrow it down in the filter section, and you'll see it. But if you can't find it and you got a question, I got all my paperwork over there and all my parts I use for this and on the truck itself. So if you got any questions and you can't find it on Summit or anything, wondering about anything, just leave me a comment and I'll answer it. I'll get back. I'll send you the comments, part number in the comment section. And I got to get it in anyway. Get this clutter out of the floor. And I got some other old parts to go in there, exhaust parts and stuff to go, fender wells and everything I need to get out of here so I can have some room to work on some stuff in here. But so I got to get it in. I'm anxious to get it running and see how it sounds. It should be pretty good. Anybody that just got a, you know, Extreme Energy 262, hey, let me know just how you like it. I looked up some videos on that cam, and it sounds good. It got a little bit of lope, you know, some mild cam, and so it sounds pretty sweet on some other videos I watched. And but if you actually got one in your truck, and let me know, you know, how you like it. I was back and forth between about 3 different cam choices for this engine, and I finally just, you know, narrowed it down. Kind of went with the one. I did the formula on how these heads flow, and I could have went with just a single pattern, you know, intake exhaust, but it was right on the edge of what it was supposed to flow according to what the Flowtech, you know, bench flow chart said. So I went with the dual pattern cam. So if you got one, just let me know how you like it, man. I hope it turns out pretty good. Let me know what y'all think, man. Is that a good looking engine or what? You know, let me know in the comment section how you like it. I just want to do this video, so if maybe anybody was going to build one and they saw some parts they might want to use, you know, they could get some ideas off of here or whatever, and you know, just do some video for y'all's entertainment. I know a lot of you guys and gals like engine builds and hot rods and that kind of stuff, so I figured I'd do that video on this engine build. I'll give you a quick look. I got a cover on my truck out here. It's my old fishing pole. Cover on there so you can't really see it. But it's going in that truck. Just give you kind of a sneak peek of that. And later on, when I'm putting the engine in, I'll do a video after I get that engine in, and you'll see this truck uncovered and this bad boy running. So I'll do a video later on that. That's all you get to see for right now. We'll go back in here. But man, I hope you guys like this video. Consider, if you want to see some more stuff like this engine running, I hopefully get it in pretty soon. If you want to see this bad boy running, you know, hit the subscribe button and hit the bell, whatever, so you get notification when I upload a video, because I'm gonna upload a video when I get this bad boy running, and I can't wait to see how it does. I built this thing, you know, to the T on what you're supposed to, you know, build the engine by, clearance wise and all that stuff. I didn't take any shortcuts, so I'm excited to see how it does. So, but yeah, guys, I know I was kind of all over the place doing this video, but I was just kind of going off the top of my head to run down different parts, you know, going over, you know, I didn't go exactly in the order like what you would build it. I just decided to go, you know, this part, that part, whatever. But I hope you guys like this video. So anyway, till next time, guys, that's it.